Several years ago, I did a video on LED bulbs, and at the time I made some predictions about them, and I wrote them down here, and I thought we'd check me to see if I know what I'm talking about or not. And what I said is they would make them cheaper by using less materials, and that would affect both the material cost in production and the shipping cost, because obviously if something's lighter weight, it's cheaper to ship. I predicted they would make the metal base smaller, because again, that would save material. It would play into this first one. And they would actually make the bulb smaller, and that's just another way of using less materials. So here are my four bulbs. These first two, I remembered to date them, and the last two I did not. But you can see the style change here. Let's look at this first one. It is dated 2014-04-05. This next one is 2014-09-06, so roughly 5 months newer than this bulb. These two, you can see the style change here. The amount of plastic in this area changed, and yeah, so the overall style changed. And then you can see this one. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Yeah, I think so. This one's a little bit hazier than this one, but otherwise they look the same. Now, if we look across here, okay, the base appears not to have changed. So out of these predictions, I don't see the bulb getting smaller. I do see this part changing in size, and I don't see the metal base changing in size. But let's look at another bulb that I found recently. And, well, Betsy, look at this. This is roughly the same wattage. I think this is a 7 watt. And yeah, so it's roughly comparable to all of these. And these are 7 watts. This is 7 watt. This is actually 8, and these are actually 8. But this is a 7 watt, so you can see what's happening here. The bulb is actually smaller. And then let's look at this one. Here is an 8.5 watt bulb, and you can see what's happened. Now, these are not like just showing up everywhere, but when I originally made the first video, this base was not even available, or if it was really hard to find. I couldn't find it online anywhere. So you can see what's happening. Less metal in the base, less material. Bulb is overall smaller, but the same amount of brightness. Okay, so, if you're going to cut me a break, you can see that, yeah, it didn't change like radically. It didn't jump overnight to this thing or to this size, but we can see that this is now happening. This smaller type bulb like this is happening. And this has gone from not available to fairly readily available. Also, you can find online adapters to adapt these smaller ones to bigger ones. So yeah, I'm still going to predict that over time that they're still going to go to this thing. Okay, so we have one more test using less material. So these, especially these four, they all look kind of the same. And this one, oddly enough, that envelope appears to be glass, and the rest of them are all plastic. So let's go weigh these and see what's happening to the weight of these. Yeah, we can guess that it might be getting lighter this way, but how about that one with a glass envelope, even though it's smaller? Okay, let's go do that. Let's weigh these on our kitchen scale. There's bulb number 1, and it looks to be right at just a smidge under 100 grams. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, this is the one that's 5 months younger. Up, come on, behave. 85 grams. Okay, I'll call that 85. Here's bulb number 3, and looking straight on, I'm going to say 50 grams. bulb 4. Bulb 4 is 30 grams. And this glass bulb is, stop that, just a smidge over 40 grams. And then the last one. And wow, we're going to call this 20 grams. Okay, so let's put this on a piece of paper and analyze what we just found. Let's look at our results. This is bulb number 1, 99 grams, almost 100 grams. They lose, what is that, 15 grams between this and this, roughly 14 grams. That's not too bad. So between 1 and 2, 5 months apart. From bulb 2 to bulb 3, I think these are a couple years apart. They go from 85 to 50. They lose 35 grams. Wow. Okay, bulb 3 to 4. I'm not quite sure, but I would guess there's probably another couple years between these two, but we lose 20 more grams. Now, this one I'm not too sure about. This is more of a specialty bulb, and it's glass. It jumped up again by, what is that, 11 grams? But maybe because they made the envelope smaller, they had heat issues, had to make it out of glass, therefore heavier. But this, I don't know this is going to become the common thing, but I thought I would represent it to be fair. And then the last one is 20 grams, half of this, and 10 grams off of 30. So yeah, they're going to make them cheaper by using less materials. Okay, so we can see that. They're getting thinner, making the base metal smaller. Well, only in this one case. I can't claim victory on this one, but it certainly looks like that's the trend, because at first this was not available at all, and then it became somewhat available, and now it's fairly readily available. And then making the bulb smaller. Okay, so that does appear to be a trend, making it smaller. And even if you just look at these four, they're not making it smaller, but they're certainly making the materials thinner, because we can see that by the weight. Okay, well, that's about it for this review of these light bulbs over the years and how they're trending. Hope you found that useful and interesting in your home economics work.